cut the music.
Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto Channel. We are live. It is Sunday. Hang on a sec. Looks like there's something on my wall right here. But when I turn around, there's nothing there. Oh, wait. God. Blonde moment. It's something on my screen. It's gone. Gosh, dog. Can we rewind? Let's rewind. Pretend that didn't happen. That's so embarrassing. What's up, guys? It is Sunday. Bitcoin just kind of, I guess, dumping a little this weekend, but really just kind of hanging out here. Started the dump on Friday, which we called for and took this short. We are up big time in this short. And we're just hanging on to it for a little while. I do think we have a major dump coming over the next 2 weeks. Starting this week, I actually could see us maybe moving up a little today and or into tomorrow before dumping down. If we let's see who's here. We're going to talk about this, guys. We're going to talk about this. I got some good things. And there's a poll in chat regarding altcoins. Let me know if you're filling up your bags. Let's assume Bitcoin gets this dump in the next couple weeks. Are you going to be filling your bags? Are you kind of waiting for that usual every time Q4 bottom to buy? What are you thinking, guys? What are you thinking? Let's see who's here. We got Joe Bowers. What's up, brother? Max, Mighty Max, Jag. What's up, dude? Johnny, number 5. Man. Eons, good morning. Salt Chain, we'll take that as a LOL, as a good morning. Salt Chain must be laughing about, it's not there anymore. I swear there was something right there on the wall, but it was just right there on the screen. So, is what it is. Listen, it's one of those days. I've already been to the gym, got the flex on, guys, got the traps kicking this morning. Look at that. Look at that. My traps have always been small. I can't get them to grow no matter what I do. I can't get them to grow. Hawkborn says, definitely loading my bags. We're going to talk about it. I have some ideas. I have some stats. I don't want to steer you wrong, but we're going to talk about these altcoins, guys. We're going to talk about these altcoins. A lot of people, they call them shit coins, this and that, and most of them are. But there's some real money-making opportunity if you play your cards right. And I don't think any of them, maybe a handful of them are good long-term holds. And by long-term, I mean next 10, 15, 20 years. Maybe a few of these will still be around, maybe, and actual good investments. But who knows? I mean, technology changes so much. Whatever you think now, think about 15 years ago, what you thought. 20 years ago, what did you think? I mean, we were barely getting cell phones. There was no smartphone. There was no nothing, that you had that crappy little, actually it was an awesome little Nokia, and then the flip phone came out. Everybody thought, this is it. We have arrived. And you couldn't find a flip phone to save your life now, but at the time, to try to tell you there'd be a smartphone that was everything. It was your phone, your computer, your date book, your calculator, your everything. You wouldn't have believed it. So whatever you think now about an altcoin, Solana, Ethereum, whatever, in 20 years is likely to not still be here. Or good investment. So times are changing. You got to change with the times. The only one that I believe will still be here and strong will be Bitcoin. Maybe a couple others. Who knows? But who knows which ones those will be. It'll probably be one you least expect. All right. Let's see, guys. We got Bitcoin. So we did lose the battle zone, guys. We had this battle zone. So far, we've lost at multiple daily closes below the battle zone, which is about 80,500 to 79,400. That's our battle zone. In case you're confused of what that is, dating all the way back here to our initial crash or initial dump in November, we came down, depending on what exchange you're on, to 80,500. Big bounce to 98K, right? So that was our support line, and then when we eventually flipped it, it became resistance. And then when we came down from the 98K, we had a bounce here, 3 wicks into 79.4, and then it was so resistance there, resistance, support. So 80,500, the battle zone, 80,500 above that was bullish. Below 79.4 was bearish, because that is really acceptance, not back into the volume profile, but really back into this lower range, right? This lower range, this acceptance back into this lower range. And the battle zone in between, we called for that battle zone to be a fight there. And a couple of weeks ago, we called for that to be a fight. And sure enough, you fought it for a couple of weeks. Tried to get above it, couldn't stay above it, fought, and now you've lost it and kind of starting to pull away now, guys. So you have found acceptance back into this range. Will it hold? We'll see. But I do think it will hold. I think we're headed down, although we could push up one more time. We could push up an 84, 85K, and that would not be unheard of. I do want to caution you if that happens. Everybody, and I mean everybody, maybe not everybody, but lots of people, guys, are saying if you get above this 200-day simple moving average, let me throw it on, guys. There's so many people. You got. I swear it's like people do not know how to look left. I'm going to get on a soapbox here. It's like, guys, influencers, TAers, they don't know how to look left. Look to the freaking left. I mean, everybody, you can see we found a couple of weeks worth of resistance here at the 200-day simple moving average. And everybody, not everybody, but gosh, dog it, look to the left. Too many people are saying when we get above that, it is bull run on. The low is in for sure. You know, they're saying we could bounce around here for a little, but it is. The lows are in. And oh my gosh, guys. Come on now. Be smarter than that. Look to the left. Look to the left. And don't just look to the left. And here's what they're doing, which drives me freaking crazy. They're like, look, every time you get above the 200 simple moving average, it is blast off. It is blast off. No, okay, they're giving you bull run examples. Bull run examples, okay? Don't compare moves. And I have great statistical average charts for this kind of stuff that I give you in VIP Discord. Don't compare bull run moves to bear market moves. It's completely different. Like your red dots in a bear market are typically much more powerful than in a bull run. You know, if you get and they're not all the same. You're going to have some more and some less, but and we're not going to go through them. But if you get a daily red dot over here in the bull run, I mean, you might pull back 4 or 5%. You get a daily red dot here, you might pull back 15, 20%. It's just different. So you can't compare a move here to a bull run move. You just can't do it, and it's irresponsible. These people who do this, and I don't know if they're just, but too dumb, or they just don't care and they want hopium and clicks, and I don't care. Nobody watches my channel except for you fine people. You guys are great, but I don't have a big channel, and I don't care to blow smoke at people. I'm just going to tell you like it is. Period. So. Let's look at bear markets when this happened, okay? Bear markets. You came up. This is the last bear market. You didn't get above the 200. You came up to it. You didn't even touch it. You front ran it just like we did now. Front run, boom, send it down, all the way down. You see the big move after that. I mean, just bear market continuation down, no problem. But let's go back and look at the cycle before that. And same here. You got above the 200 simple day moving average, and it could be similar. This is way above it. Granted, this is actually a really good move, but nonetheless, it was not bull run on. I mean, yeah, it took you a little while, it took you a few months, but it wound up being massive bear market still to come. So this does not mean bull run on. That's just dumb. That's just irresponsible for people to say that. So look at the cycle before. You got above it before. You got above it multiple times before. It did not. Pretty good run up there. Multiple times. I wouldn't even count this one. You didn't. Let's pretend I didn't show that because you didn't actually close a daily candle below here. But you did get a little above it here. Look, let's zoom in, guys. You got above it here for about a week or so, and that did not mean bull run on. You just lost it a week later and you got massive bear market dump. 200-day simple moving average, it's great in a bull run. It doesn't mean a whole lot on a bear market. It really doesn't. And all you have to do is look to the left and find all the proof you need for that. Furthermore, every single bear market. We have gotten a rally. I showed this the other day. I'm going to show it again. To the, well, it'd probably help if I turned it on. To the 382, guys, the 382 Fibonacci, okay? Every single time, this time was actually above the 200-day simple moving average, right into that. You wicked above it, but ultimately you lost it. Boom, massive bear market, 382 rally. Remember that, 382 rally. Let's go look at the next one, guys. Go look at the next. Boom. Got the rally there above the 200-day simple moving average into the 382. What happened? Massive. You're in the 382. You're above the 382. You're wicking it. You're significantly above the 200-day moving average. Bull run on, right? No. Massive freaking bear market followed. Massive. This is in 2018. So we looked at 2015, 2018. Let's look at 2022, guys. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen here. You got the top. You got the low. What happens? Right up to the 200-day simple moving average. You actually closed a few candles above the 382. Bull run on, right? No. Massive freaking bear market. Don't listen to these hopium suckers who are buying this big. And listen, I was one of the first ones, as far as I could find, at least the folks that I follow, that was screaming about the weekly money flow crossover into the green. 100% stat. It has always meant the bottom is in. However, I did a video. It's called I Was Wrong. Go watch this video. Even the one before that, Bitcoin bear versus bull case. Watch either one of them. Watch them both. I lay out 12. Everybody's showing you one historical stat. A weekly money flow crossover in the green, which is great. I agree. It is a 100% stat. It is on this video. I show you 12 100% stats that tell you whether or not the bottom is in the bear market or not. Every single one of these has been correct so far. Every single one of them, okay? However, as of now, only 2 of the 12 have signaled the bottom is in. 10 still say the bottom is not in. That is an over 83% chance the bottom is not in. So for the 2 that have already signaled, for those to still hold true, 83%, 10 others, 83% have to be wrong. And I'm not in the business of being profitable by going against high probabilities, okay? In a lot of casino games, the house only has a 51% advantage. That's 1%. 1% more than you, 49 to 51, okay? And the house wins in the end. So I can only imagine if a casino game had an 83% advantage, they would kill everyone. So I'm not going to go against the house. 83% chance the bottom is not in. So I let go of that narrative myself. I was hung up on that narrative. I was thinking the low is in because of the money flow. I don't think that anymore. And I showed you, go watch one of those videos. I walk through exactly the other 11 stats. Anyway, if we do get up to the 382, let's look at it now, current price action. We have found a resistance, a rejection at the 200-day. Where is the 382? It is significantly above there at about 85.2, depending on your exchange, 85.2, 85.3. Okay, so you could come up there and every time we've at least wicked above that. So you could come up here, you could spend a day or two here, and then still have a big, massive bear market, guys. This means nothing. This means nothing. This has happened every single time. So either the influencers that are telling you this, again, are dumb. They don't know how to look left, or, and I'm not saying this isn't possible. This could very much be super cycle bull run on, but it hasn't proven itself. This proves nothing. Even getting above this proves nothing. Either they're too dumb, or they want clicks, or this is their first bear market. Okay, this is their first bear market. One of the three. You'll never convince me otherwise. And I'm open to the possibility. Excuse me, that the low is in. The overwhelming statistic says it is not. It's 83%, guys. I don't know how else to explain it. It's 83%. I'll take questions on that if you. Yet another merch idea, Salt Chain says. Look left. Yeah, look left. That's not a bad idea. Could have a look left with an arrow and some chart candles, maybe some chart candles pointing to the left. I don't know, something clever like that. Let's look at some profit and losses, y'all. I forgot to show P&Ls when we got here. Give you an update on the 2K to 10K challenge. We are in a short. I showed you guys this short. Let me go back to my main chart. So one day last week, I don't remember what day, Thursday, Friday, maybe Friday, we had two red shaded boxes on the chart. We blasted right through the second one. The first one, we came up to the second one, wicked through it when we reclaimed it, right when we reclaimed it, as soon as we came back in the box. And we've talked about this with regard to red boxes and green boxes. If you have a green box or a red box, let me zoom out. If you have a green box or a red box and you lose it and you reclaim it, it's still, in my opinion, good, at least the first time. So if we were to come up here and wick through this, but then reclaim it, that's the same as this. Consider this a resistance zone. Kind of like an SFP. You know, you have a resistance line, a wick high over here, liquidity spike, something like that, and you wick through it. It doesn't mean it's invalidated. If you come back and close within the box, well, you've just confirmed this as resistance. You've grabbed the liquidity above it, confirmed it as resistance, and you're likely to move down. Don't have to, don't always have to, but you're likely to. And that's what happened here. We came to the top of the resistance box. We wicked above it. Very next candle, closed back in it, short time. Boom. We confirmed this as the resistance I wanted to see. We had divergences up in the box. I told you guys in the VIP Discord that I was short. And I've updated you as I TP along the way on this. And we have secured $2,100 on that trade. I got stopped out of my other short this was my KCEX short for $1,200. This was from 82.3, maybe 82.2. Wow, shoot, I just showed it. I can't remember where it was. 81.2. That was from 81.2. Here are the other. So the KCEX, this does not count towards my 2K to 10K challenge. This is bonus. My 2K to 10K challenge is on MEXC. And let's look at those. 296 profit, 354, 194, 522, and 2128. And again, plus the 1240, but I did not include that. And I did take a loss, a $374 loss. 50x short, I tried to get in, took that hit. So our weekly total, 1 weekend, our 2K to 10K challenge, we're up $4,300. And again, that does not include the $1,200 from KCEX. This is just our MEXC challenge. So I would have to get $8,000 profit to make it to 10K, so over 50% in 1 week. And this does include my loss. This is a cumulative total for the week. And that's since yesterday, but I haven't taken any more trades today, so that is still the same. Max said, dude, I took that free $1,500 from MEXC and I shorted the red shaded box you gave. I'm up 3,700. 100x shorted. $3,700. Wow. Is that mathematically possible? That's crazy. You must not have TP'd. Let's see. Max took it from the box. Let's say you took it from the middle of the box to the low. That's 5%. Let's see if we can call Max out here. 5%. You got a $150,000 margin. That's 1,500 times 100x leverage. Yeah. Times 5%. That's $7,500. Okay, you're only up 37. You must have TP'd somewhere along the way. Great. So if you had not taken profit, you would be up $7,500 right now on a free $1,500. That's awesome, bro. That is freaking awesome, man. Salt Chain says, I'm just excited to see what happens this week, especially with FOMC chair. Hawkborn says, Max, that's awesome. Johnny number 5, same Max. I 50x shorted with my free 1500. I'm up just over 2K. Locked in 1200 realized already. All free money, no risk. Love this bonus. This bonus is great, guys. Free freaking money. Max, yeah, TP'd 50%. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you did. Max and John, if y'all don't know, John and Max and I have traded together for years. And so we have kind of the same style, which, we'll get up. If we're looking for a good, we scalp and day trade at the same time. But if I were just day trading this, I don't know, I'd find my target probably somewhere in here, which is about a 1% up. And then I might with TP, depending on my leverage and my margin, 1%, or excuse me, 50% at 1%. And see if I can figure out what Max did. So Max was at 150,000. I bet you Max did something like this. I know Max. It's going to be a 1,500 times that 1. So I bet you took 750 off right there. So then you're running with $75,000 for another 4% down. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I know Max. Max trades just like I do. So Max would be up $7,500 if he had shorted here and all the way to the bottom. Max is up $3,700. What I do typically is, I would find the resistance zone, but usually about 1% I look for to TP 50% of my trade, day trade, especially if I have a larger margin. And if Max did that, which this is probably where I would have, if you shorted here, this break right here, right there, boom, you can see all these. Let me make that a little thicker. You can see all these resistance, support. That would have been a good TP area. You can see kind of clear as day, breakdown and breakout kind of area. I would have TP'd right there. That's 1%. That's $750. He TP'd 50%, which left the rest of his trade running, only $75,000 margin. At another 4% drop, because this is 1%, it's a 5% total, so at least 4 more percent is another $3,000. That's $3,750. I know your style, Max, because it's my style. Guarantee you that's what you did. Guaranteed. And John, you 50x shorted up over 2K. You probably did the same. Max just had double your margin. All right. Max says, you know me too well. I've been doing this with you for like 8 years, bro. Okay. Let's look at our monthly stats for May. Okay. I want to show you guys this real quick. Okay. Monthly stats for May. We've covered this multiple times, so we're not going to spend too much time on this. But I want to show you something interesting that I have not showed you before. So we put this every month. If you're new here, every month we do monthly price predictions. We base that off of historical price action for Bitcoin. I've mapped out highs, lows, high date, low date, wicks, you name it, everything for Bitcoin every single month of every single year in its history. And then we try to find historical averages and trends for a particular month. And so this month, we put this on here on April 30th. I haven't moved a single box. We called for this move up into the box, which we got, and we called a move down to this box, okay? There was an 85% chance that the high, the low, it wasn't the low, that the high would come in the first week, okay? And then we're looking for a reversal after that. Now, what I want to show you, let me go back over here. I think I already marked this out. Yeah. All right, so I already marked this out. So get ready for a flashbang. I'm going to bring over the historical stats for May. It's going to be a little bright. All right, here are the historical May stats. And what I've done is I've deleted everything and just left the months, the 5 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, really 4, but where Bitcoin set the high in the first week, okay? The 9th is close enough for me. So the point is where Bitcoin set the high early on, actually, this is not correct because it set the low first. So let me erase that. All right, so there's 4 times Bitcoin set the high before the low. Only 4 times ever did Bitcoin set the high before the low, and all 4 times the high was set in the first week, okay? So what happened after that is what we're interested in. And 3 of the 4 times you close the month negatively, okay? That's just a given. Set the high, come back, reverse. Well, 1 time you closed positive, okay? Now that's interesting. So I want to look at that one. Does that mean we're not going to get a pullback? Does that mean we're not going to get a big drop? These others, you got big drops. You were up 7%, but wound up closing 19% down. So that is a big 26% swing. Same thing here. 6% up, and you wound up closing 15.5% down. So that's a big 20+% swing. Same thing here, up 2%, closed 7% down. So that's a 9-10% swing. So you had big swings here. So in this one where you were 6, let me start over. Where you were 16% up here, you closed 9% up. Does that mean you only pulled back about 6-7%? That's what I want to see, because I want to try to see worst case scenario in history. What has Bitcoin done? Or kind of what we can expect. And this is that situation. This is right after COVID. COVID was in March of 2020. This is in May of 2020. You started, let me mark out May 1st, right there. So, and let me mark out the end of the month. Well, I've already marked them out. Never mind. It's the blue box. God, I'm having blonde moments. Okay, so the blue box is the month of May. You got that run up. You set the high here on the 7th, okay? Now remember, let's go back to our stats. You still close the month 9% to the upside, okay? And we close the month right here. Okay, this is the close, okay? So we closed to the upside, and this is where we opened. We closed to the upside. Let me put that on here. Open there. Still closed 9% to the upside. Does that mean we only pull back 6%? No, absolutely not. Even in this case, once we set the high there on the 7th, we got a big pullback immediately following that. How much? 19.5%, call it 20%. You got a 20% pullback. Then you bounced and wound up closing the month 9% positive, but you still got a 20% pullback, which is more in line with the other historical stats of this has been a 20+% pullback, 20%, 22% pullback. So in each of these, you got big pullbacks, even though the closing data looks misleading, like, oh, you moved up. So you would think in this case, based upon the closing data, you just moved up and kind of slightly pulled back and kept going. That's not the case. You got a big old 20% dumpola, and then you bounce from there, right? So that is reassuring for those of you who are still looking for this big dump for Bitcoin. So the average dump from there is about 20%, actually a little over 20%, but let's just go look and see what that would bring us to if we did get that same 20% from the high of the month. The high was set right here on the 6th, and let's look at what a 20% pullback would look like. That is going to put you all the way down to about the point of control, CME gap area down here, even the value area low down here, about 65 to 67K. Okay? That's what you've gotten every single time when you set the high of May in the first week of May. That's what you've gotten every single time. So we could be looking for a significant pullback like that. What else do we have in confluence that says we might actually pull back there in the next couple of weeks? Well, I direct your attention to our FOMC stats. All right, on the weekly time frame, we have every single time there's been a FOMC swear-in ceremony. And right here, when Janet Yellen was sworn in back in 2014, during the very first week of her swear-in, Bitcoin moved down 24%. Interesting. 20% pullback, 24%. Interesting, okay? During Jerome Powell's first swear-in back in 2018, right here, you got to run up into it. I'm not going to zoom in on lower time frames, but I looked at these Friday and showed you guys you got to run up into it. First week of swear-in, 26%. Interesting. 28%. Yeah. Interesting. Jerome Powell stayed in office in the second term here back in 2022, but still in his first week, that first weekly candle, you got to run up into it, but then that first weekly candle after his swear-in, 7% pullback, followed by 42% over the next 4 weeks, over the next month. So big pullback the week he was sworn in. Jerome Powell left office Friday. However, they did not. They confirmed Kevin Warsh last week as the replacement for Jerome, but they did not swear him in Friday. They are supposed to do that tomorrow, which means the candle starting this evening, with this evening's close or this evening's open, whatever you want to look at it as, that is going to be the first week for this FOMC new chair. So it'll be interesting to see if we get that big pullback, all right? Even if you rally into it, because we will have a slight, and I'm not a CME gap trader, but we will have a slight CME gap if Bitcoin closes anything below about 79K. You will have a CME gap up there. CME close, and price action for CME will be a little bit different than spot, but close enough to give you kind of a guesstimation for now. You did close about 79K. 79.2 on CME. So current price action for Bitcoin is right at 78K. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Bitcoin run up and fill that gap, fake everybody out, get everybody bullish again. Oh, we're going. Here we go. Run up 79K and then roll right back over. Wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. Good opportunity to back test that 79.4 battle zone and roll over. So maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't really know. I'm not really have a strong opinion on that. I don't really care. I'm short from here, so I don't really care what it does. I'm not looking for a short trade at this point. You had multiple chances to get in this short trade. We were originally short from here. Came down, made, I don't know what we made, like $2,000 there, got stopped out. I had my stop a little too, had it at the 786, and we blasted through that 786, and then I reshorted here, and I'm still short. So I don't really care. I'm not looking for a short at this point. Next area of interest from a long, potential long for me is going to be right here around 76K, this shaded box. This will be a recovery of the Bybit scam wick, which the scam wick is meaningless. It's not on any other exchange. However, they were scamming the hell out of folks, but it does show where enough buy orders were to stop the wick in its tracks and completely reverse it. It was right there. So that could be a leading indicator for other markets that they have a lot of buy orders stacked right there. That would also be a move down to the monthly open, and there's a daily level in exact confluence with the value area high of our big macro range here. We'll zoom out and see that one more time. So you have all of that coming in right there, plus a VWAP from the 98K high. All that's coming in around there. Really good confluence. I would be interested in a long trade from that area, but I'm going to run a tight stop because if I lose this, I firmly believe we're headed to 73K and headed there fast. We've talked about the perfect setup of all of these wicks here that are unrecovered, guys. If you get into this, you could absolutely rip to the downside, which is why I'm going to run it really tight right here. If you find acceptance back into this range, if you find acceptance back into this value area range on a daily closing basis, I would expect a rotation all the way down at least to point of control. Okay? So I do think we have some significant prolonged downside coming. And if you lose this 76K, you're headed to 73. And if you lose that, you're headed to, in my opinion, 65 pretty dang fast. Okay? Go ahead and stop me if you have any questions. We looked at this on CVD last week. If my CVD wants to load, where is everything? Oh, shoot. I'm not fixing to redraw this. We had bullish CVD on the macro. I say macro. Ever since this range back in January, February, we had bullish CVD that carried us all the way up. We drew the whale on here. I'm not fixing to draw this. You can go watch the video from last week. Oh, shoot. No, I'm not going to draw it. Where is it at? That baffles me. See if I can refresh. Hate it when you draw things and it disappears. It's gone. But then we showed how bullish CVD had flipped bearish. I was on the 4-hour time frame. We had some significant bearish CVD was sitting in. Longs had shorts had flipped long. Longs were coming in. Price was double topping, which meant a whale was sitting on top, filling his bags, about to move price down. We discussed this. I told you this whale was about to move price down, and he has already moved it down 5%. Are his bags full? I don't know. We're gonna find out when the market opens, though. Do you think we could hit that 59K mark to get that wick from back in February? Yeah. I don't think the low's in at all, guys. The bottom is not in for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Let's look at, let me show you something kind of scary-ish, kind of not really. I think I showed this Friday. I'm not going to go through the Shemitah and all that good stuff. All I want to show, I'm on the S&P on the weekly time frame, and I grabbed a fractal from back in 95, 96, I think it was. Back in this area, right in here, 1998. Okay, I grabbed this fractal right here. I'll do it again. Let me do it again for you. I'm not going to change anything on this fractal. I'm not really a fractal guy, but be crazy not to look at this one. So I'm going to grab this fractal, right? And I'm just going to drag it over. I know a lot of guys take fractals and they stretch them and they lengthen them and they do this and they do that to make them fit. I've even seen guys take fractals on like a 4-hour and throw it on a daily. And whatever. Maybe that works. I don't know. Now, I am going to zoom in here, but I'm not going to change this fractal. And you can tell if I change it. See on fractals, they have this little circle right here and the circle down here. I could stretch that, but I'm not going to do it. But I am going to zoom in on the chart and make these candles a little bit bigger. First, I'm going to overlay this. Okay. Overlay that. Then I'm just going to zoom in on the chart. I'm not touching the fractal, so I'm not manipulating the price. I just overlaid it. And you're kind of crazy if you don't see how exact this is. This is a bubble pop. This is a late business cycle fractal. That's what this is. This is what it leads to. It almost always leads to a recession. Okay? And this is like over a year's worth of price action so far. Leaving about another year and a half to go if this follows through. But what I want to draw your attention to, we'll worry about all of this later if and when this happens. Okay, I went over that on Friday. I correlated this with the Shemitah coming up. Go watch that video. But for now, I want to draw your eyes to this section here. Let me zoom in a little more. Again, I'm not touching the fractal. I'm not manipulating this fractal. Just want to draw your eyes to this. And so far, this looks pretty exact. If I'm overlaying this correct, you come up, you pull back, you come up, you pull back. Okay, so if this high, current price, represents this blue fractal high, if that's approximately where we're at, then we should be expecting a significant pullback here over the next, 2 months, because this is a weekly time frame. Okay, so basically all through the summer, which is common. We expect some kind of down, sideways and down price action. And this one came back. If you look at the blue fractal, ignore the regular candles. Blue fractal came about midway to this last consolidation point, right? Midway. So if that happens for current price action, let's see on the S&P. Let's bring it back to midway through the last kind of right in about 10%. Okay, you see that about 10% dump. Okay, let me turn this fractal off now. So about a 10% dump. What did we get on the last pullback? What did we get here on the last pullback for the S&P back in late January? 9.8%, call it 10%, about a 10% dump, right? Okay, you see that? About a 10% dump. We're expecting, according to the fractal, about a 10% dump, and it just lines up. We're on the weekly time frame. We've got big weekly bearish divergence. I mean, you can't miss it. I mean, my 11-year-old could see this. You can't miss it. Boom. Matter of fact, you actually have a triple drive. You have like a quadru. You have like this whole damn thing is bearish. Look at this. I can draw a line from all the way back here. It's all bearish. The whole thing, big. You got a massive. You have an extremely massive correction coming here, guys. I mean, this thing is going to have to correct at some point. This is massive. I mean, this really goes all the way back over here. For years worth of bear divs. Now, that's not to say this can't go on for a long time, or it's gone on for 3 years worth of bear divs, right? But eventually it will correct. And I'm talking significantly. I'm not talking 10%. But either way, we're expecting a 10% now. Our last little pullback was 10%. Late January, okay? And this ended in March. So the last week of January into the first week of March. What did Bitcoin do during that time? Late January, early March. S&P pulled back 10%. Right there, January, late January. This was into early February. So still, Bitcoin got a 38% dump. 38% on a 10% pullback. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to get that again, but let's just assume it does get that again. Starting now, the S&P's already looks like it started a pullback. Say you get another 38%, guys. 38% is going to put you 40%, puts you right down here to one of my big targets is taking out the wick, this wick low right here. Right about 49K, 50K. Could very easily happen, guys. Very easily happen. Let's mark that out. Very easily happen. 39% right there. Don't be surprised to see this happen over the next couple months. I could go back and show you. I won't. I've done it before. But previous bear markets, well, we might look at one. Lows, not the ultimate low, but just Bitcoin setting pullback lows. I'm just going to look at one, but you can go look at them all if you want. They're all like this. A low in February. A low in April. A low in June. Now, I understand you came down here like in December and set the ultimate low, but these are pullback lows. You got pumps and pullback, right? Pump and pullback, right? February low, bounce, April low, bounce, June low, right? You see that? Okay, that is 2018. It's the same in 2022. Go check it. And let's see what we're looking like here, guys. And it doesn't have to be lower lows, right? This was not a lower low here. It's just lows. All right, pullback lows before bounces. And what did you get here, guys? February, April. I'm on the weekly. It says March 30th, but it was the first week of April. And we could be looking at June right here. Okay. It's all lining up, guys. It's all lining up for a good correction. Watch this thing blast off the new all-time highs, and I'd be totally wrong. That's fine. I will happily say that I was wrong. I just don't see it. Everything's just lining up. Bitcoin is under a current 5-day red dot, unconfirmed 5-day red dot. Kind of got thick money flow in the red and getting thicker. You've already taken out this low here, so you're getting even thicker. If you're setting lower highs, then you could expect something like this, maybe, right? but you just came below it right here. So you're actually still decreasing, okay? And I understand this on the 5-day. I understand on the weekly, you've already come back into the green. I get it. But if you really look at it, the sucker's fast headed back toward the red. Okay. Don't currently have a weekly red dot, and you will not get one today, even with the close, maybe next week. But if we zoom in here, you can see it is just too high. You won't get one here. Even here, when you were up here, it took 2 weeks before you get the red dot. 2 weeks. So you could come down with this closure, and then next week, possibly, if Bitcoin continues to dump, you could get a red dot. And that would bleed over to your altcoins, in my opinion. That takes me over there. Let's go to Fetch AI, okay? One of the coins that I'm the biggest on, okay? And I don't want to steer you wrong, guys, but I am not buying Fetch right now. I almost bought this bounce this morning just for a bounce trade, but Fetch is under a current 5-day red dot, okay, unconfirmed. Same thing, money flow getting thicker, just like Bitcoin. I'm going to show you a couple interesting things for all you altcoin guys. Let's look at the poll real quick before we go into this. Will you be buying alts on this next dip? Yes, loading my bag, 60%. 20% say maybe a little, not a lot. 10% of you don't fool with alts. 10% of you waiting on Q4. All right, I'll be loading up on this dip. Loading up. I'll tell you why, guys. I'm not fixing to go into targets for alts today. We've done that, and I will gladly do that again on another video. But let me just throw out some rough numbers here, and then I want to go into this. I'm going to show you something very interesting and show you how I'm playing this. I know my chart's a mess. I'm going to zoom in. But let's say Fetch has an all-time high of about 350, right? Let's say it comes down on this next move. Let's just say it comes on this next move to, I don't know. Let's say it comes to takes this out. Let's say you go to 13 cents, right? I'm going to tell you what some of you are going to do, and that's fine. It's your money. Some of you are going to say, oh, we're going to lows in October, November. I'm going to wait. And even if you do, let's say you come down here, bounce, and you just kind of chop in here, and then October, November, you come down to 11 cents, right, before blasting off. Let's say you come to $2 for the next bull run. Never mind all-time high. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. Let's just say you go to $2. Is it really going to matter if you bought 13 cents versus 11 cents if you go to $2? Now, that would matter if all you're going to do is go to 14 cents. But is it really going to matter if you bought 30? I know you have to dip down, 10%? Watch your portfolio go down 10%, 15%. But does that really matter if you go to $2? It's like people who bought Bitcoin at 10 grand and it went to 126 grand. Does it really matter if you bought 10 versus 12 grand? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. What you don't want to be, what you don't want to be, and I'm going to show you a great example. I'm not saying Fetch. I don't know where Fetch is going to go, to the upside or downside. But you don't want to be the guy who passed on 13 cents in 2 weeks if it goes there and thought, I'm going to buy 11 cents in October, and it did this. And next thing you know, you're the guy buying at 75 cents because you just thought this whole time, here we go, 11 cents. Don't be that guy. That's called FOMO. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. In my opinion. Let me give you a good example. Everybody except me, everybody's favorite altcoin. Let me turn some of this clutter off. Everybody's favorite altcoin. Let's look at XRP, guys. Let's look at XR Pizzle, guys. All right. Here was our last bear market. Okay. Right in here, last bear market, this whole area, right? All right. So set a low here in June. All right. Right here. Set a low right there in June. Everything bounced. Let's look at. I'm gonna flash the Bitcoin real quick, and I'm gonna come right back. In June. All right. Bitcoin set a low here in June also. Bitcoin came and set a new low in November, right? You see that? Set a new low in November, okay? So for the guys that bought, let's say the Fetch, who didn't buy Fetch at 13 because they wanted 11, right? Right? We're going to go to XRP and look now. So say we come in June here, May, June. Fetch comes to 13, you want 11, you're going to hold out to October, November to get 11. Okay, let me show you what happens to people like you, and maybe you get it, and I hope you do. Bitcoin set a low there. Bitcoin set a new low here in November, right? Right? Remember, we just showed that? Well, guess what did not set a new low? Guess what never came back? So for those of you that looked at a 28-cent XRP and thought, oh, I'm going to get XRP at 21 cents when it comes back in November, December. Well, you didn't get it. And you guys wound up buying like right here, I guarantee you. Guarantee you. Because you just thought, oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay, Bitcoin set a low. Look at that head and shoulders pattern. Here we go. And we're going to break it. We're going to break it. Oh, shit, I better buy. Don't be that guy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Could have bought this at 28 cents. Got you 1,200% gains, but you waited for 26 cents. So you could have got yourself 1,300% gains, and you wound up getting 500% gains, 400% gains. I'm telling you guys, even if Bitcoin comes and sets a low later, not most of your altcoins will as well, but not all of them, not the strong ones. This is not the only one that did not set a low. Some of the stronger ones did not come back and set a low. I don't even think Ethereum set a low, another low. Yeah, look at Ethereum. Same thing, did not set a low. So everybody holding on to who didn't buy Ethereum here and thought, I'm going to buy Ethereum in November when Bitcoin comes back and bottoms, because Bitcoin always bottoms 1 year later. You missed it. So I'm just saying, I'm not financial advice, and maybe you shouldn't mess around with shit coins to begin with, but I'm just saying not all of them are going to come back and set a low, even if Bitcoin does. So, you know, and who knows? What do I know? All I'm trying to say is I'm loading my bag if we get the big dumpola on Fetch. But speaking of Fetch, here's what I want to show you. I want to give you some good targets here. I'm going to clear this up just a little bit. All right, Fetch is under a current 5-day red dot. Let's zoom in. Fetch should be printing a 1-week red dot today. You can see that. We should get the red dot today. Flashbang here, guys. Oh, no. Okay. Whew. Let me undo some of this because I'm afraid it's going to like auto-save and I'm going to be in trouble. All right, flashbang here. I want to show you guys something. I've gone through on several altcoins, and if you want me to do this for your altcoin, you can do it. But if you want me to do it, I might do it. Just let me know which ones. Here are the weekly red dots for Fetch. I went all the way back over 4 years to 2022. Fetch has been around since like 2018, 2019. I didn't go that far back, but I went back far enough. It encompasses a full bear market and full bull market plus current. So I do not have the last red dot on here because at the time that I did this, we were active in that red dot, and I wanted to see. I need to go back and add that one, but everything else is on here. The average 1 week pullback for Fetch is 38%. Okay, 38%. Only three times in the last 4.5 years have you gotten less than single digit, and one of them was 9%, close enough. So really only 2 times did you get single digit pullbacks. Okay. So pretty big pullback area, and what I would encourage you on is to watch. This is just, so here's how I'm going to play it. Rather, let me just say it like that. Fetch is set to get a red dot this coming week. So today, right? We know from the chart I just looked at, we're most likely going to expect a really big pullback, average of 38%. I don't know if you'll get that or not, but what I think could happen, so we get a pullback, whatever it is. And my chart's cluttered. I don't want to clear it because I'm fixing to zoom in and show you this. Fixing to get a pullback, and then you might bounce, maybe you don't. But then next week, Bitcoin, if Bitcoin comes down this week, Bitcoin should get a red dot next Sunday. Okay, and that's just in Bitcoin down with its red dot statistic, right? Which is going to mean follow through for things like Fetch that get their red dot today. So then you could get another big drive down here, guys. Okay, we are kind of in this descending triangle. We broke through it once, but you can see clear as day. You got this descending triangle. I'm on the weekly time frame. Let's go to the daily, because what I want to show you next on the daily. But you can see very clearly this is a descending triangle. Some people try to draw this as a wedge, or maybe even a symmetrical triangle. I don't know. Whatever. To me, it looks like a descending. This is October 10th week. It's crazy. That's whatever. But to me, you come into this triangle and you got a clear bottom here, clear bottom. You broke through it here, but even still, since you've come back, clear bottom. And I'll just look for a breakthrough on this. Now, we are coming down to a golden pocket here, but I'm not interested in that, and I'll tell you why. Look at the white lines below. The bottom of this triangle, and I have it a little lower than these lows. Okay, you could bounce there, right? And you see low, but I have it a little lower. And what this is 0.1882, that 1882 on Fetch. I've gone through on these white lines, every single one of them. Let me save this before I do anything. Gosh, did I erase anything? I can't remember if I erased anything. I think I erased stuff on XR Pizzle. It's going to be fine. We're just going to save it. All right. All of the white lines here, when you have come below 1882, you've come below 1882 for Fetch 10 times. Okay, 10 times. So a lot of people are going to be like trying to buy this golden pocket, and you certainly can, but I would not recommend it. Okay, all 10 times, these white lines are where Fetches come the same day when you break 1882. Not like a month later, 3 weeks later, even 3 days, the same day, every single time. These are where you came on these white lines, okay? The lowest of that being 1758, okay? Same day, guys. 10 times, all 10 times. Not one time, not one single time did you lose this 1882 and bounce anywhere in here. Now you could be saying, well, God, I see wicks all up in that area. Not when you've come above 1882 and then come back below. When you break back down through it, this is where you've gone same day. So if I break 1882, I'm sitting on my hands awaiting at least for 1758. 10 times. And not one time has this failed. Not one time. And I didn't go and count things like this, where in this candle here where you pumped up through it and came back down through it, that you never closed above 1882. You never regained it. So this doesn't count. I'm talking about when you've regained it as we have now, when you break back down through it. Let's see. I'll try to show you a couple of these. You broke through it there. I'm on the daily time frame. Seems like there was more right there. I guess not. And I don't think I went back to 2018, 2019. I just did like the last 5 or 6 years. Broke through it there, same day. Had a few examples in here, a couple of examples, few examples, whatever. Broke through it there, came back above it, broke through it there, came back above it there. Oops. Came back above it, closed above it here. The next day you lost it, came to there. So you guys get the point. I'm not fixing to go through all these. There's 10 of them. Go back through them all if you want to see them all, but you get the point. I would not look for anything higher than 1758 if we lose 1882, which we should, right? Because from current price action, if we get the weekly red dot today, 1882 is only 3.5% away, which would, if that's all we got, would be significantly less than any other red dot in the history of Fetch. Let's go to the weekly. Let me turn these off real quick. Last weekly red dot we got on Fetch. Got to move down of, is that right? No, it's wrong. Wrong candle. Was that wrong candle? No, here we go. Almost 9%. Just going to look at the two before that. I'm going to show you something else really we need to be watching on Fetch. One before that, got to move down. 22% that week, 38% in the following week, which is something that I think we could see this time. Big dump down this week with Fetch red dot. Bitcoin gets a red dot next week. Follow through downside on Fetch and other altcoins. Got a big weekly bearish engulfing candle here that's massive. All right, let me show you something a little more powerful in my opinion. So down below, we have the Bjorn indicator, okay? Let's zoom in on Bjorn. And right now we're under volatility contraction, okay? This multicolor line is below this orange line, which is 15 percentile, okay? Anytime you go below that, that's contraction. That means not too much volatility, okay? When you come back above it, as soon as you cross this line, that is called volatility expansion. And when you see that, especially on a daily, 3-day, 5-day, weekly time frame, that is powerful. I will always 100% of the time trade the direction of stochastic. So if volatility is headed up and stochastic's headed down, that means big, big, big dumping coming. Likewise, if this expanded and stochastic were to flip up, that would mean big pump incoming, guys. Okay? Let's take a look at the last 2 times this is fired off. Last 2 times you've got an expansion, rather. And it's only when the multicolor line crosses. So you got it here, okay? Let me mark this out. You got volatility expansion right there. You got it right there. I thought we had another one. Kind of got a, yeah, you kind of got it right here. All right. So you got it right here and right here. Okay, so when we got the first one here to the upside, volatility expansion, so you can see this. Volatility expanded over the 15, and which direction was stochastic headed? At the time, it was headed up, okay? Up right here when volatility expanded. So, and in the next one we're going to look at, you can see volatility expanded here, and volatility was headed down. See that? Downward slope. So we would trade the direction, and let's just see what kind of percentage moves we got. I can't even remember. Here on the upside, you got a 30% pump to the upside. And on the downside, gosh, do we even need to measure this? I'm afraid to measure it. This was October 10th. 80% dump. 80%. So big, powerful move, guys. Check the 5-day. Maybe I looked at one yesterday. Here we go. I looked at this one yesterday. I think, I don't know. I don't remember what I looked at. Ignore me, guys. Oh, we just got expansion. I'm sorry. This is on the 5-day, but just an illustration, which is not as powerful. We got the 5-day expansion right here. You can see this. It's not as powerful as the weekly, but see how we expanded right there? Look at the bottom of the screen. From contraction to expansion right there on that candle. Stochastic flipped to the upside. As soon as this candle opened, you see stochastic point to the upside. And we got a move of 27%. 27%. So big moves, guys. Big moves. A big move incoming. Big move. So what I want to watch at weekly close today for Fetch, I want to watch to see that we get the red dot, and I also want to watch to see if we get weekly expansion. If we get the red dot and weekly expansion with stochastic to the downside, big move incoming over the next week to the downside for Fetch. And Fetch is a great coin, guys. If you missed the altcoin video we did where we went over circulating supply and tokenomics and all that, it is a beautiful tokenomic coin, no more circulating supply dilution. All the coins are on the market, and it's an AI coin. It's already done like 40,000%. Okay, I'm not kidding you. I'm not making that up. A lot of you are like, no, I think it's 40,000. Look at this, guys. I'm not making this up. You can't make this up. 46,000%. That's not even from release. That was from bear market. 2018 bear market. Okay, that was your Rona dump right there, March 20th. Rona dump, 46,000%, guys. I know nobody would have rode that to the top. Who in the right mind would have rode that to the top? What would 10 grand have gotten you on a 46,000% pump? Oh, I don't know, $4.6 million. It's an AI coin, guys. This coin's going places, in my opinion. Look at this freaking massive. It's only one of there's very few coins that have never set a lower low. Never set a lower low. Never not set a higher high. Macro, tongue of macro here. Right? Never not. Got a high, higher high, higher high, higher high. Got a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And you could still come take this low out and still have a higher low structure, in my opinion, because this is bear market low. This would just be taking out an intra-cycle low. So you could still have that as long as you don't take out this low here at 5 cents. You still have bullish market structure of higher high, higher lows. Do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to be the guy that gets a shot at a 13-cent fetch and says, I'm going to wait for 11 cents in November. Okay. Let me know how that works out for you, and I hope it works out well. And if that happens, I'm just going to ride my bag down 15%, and we're both going to sell at $2. Either way. You're just going to make about $3 grand more than me with taking on about 3,000 times more risk that you're actually going to get that entry. I'm not going to sweat that. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. I proved the point that we expect some downside. A lot hinging on the weekly close this week and next week, but and even if it goes up to 84, 85K for whatever reason, you get some crazy news today and tomorrow and just boom, that's a little too high. And just boom right up in there. That's nothing. That's a 382. We've actually done that every single bear market before rolling over. So that wouldn't mean anything, nothing whatsoever. We would literally have to get like above the 0.5 for me to think this time might be different. Windy morning crew. Lindy says, when again is the deadline to sign up with the 100? Let me show you guys this. I'm going to show you guys this because I think some people are missing this. I've had 3 people tell me that they did not get their bonus money. I'm logging out of my MEXC right now so I can show you this. I'm going to hit the chat with this. You guys who are not familiar, if you log in, I'm about to walk you through it. There's the link. I have a deal with MEXC through the end of this month. It expires on May 31st. If you have to use that link. It's also posted in Discord. You can get free $1,500 from MEXC to trade with. It's not $1,500 you can withdraw. It is a free $1,500. Max is up $3,700 with it. John's up over $2,000 with it. I made like $350, but it's not my fault. They snatched it back. So when it expires, they will take that money back. However, any profits you make on that is yours to keep. So if you use it like Max here is up 35, 37, whatever it was, $3,000. That's his $3,000. Now they're going to take that $1,500 back when it expires, but anything he makes, he makes. And if you do something stupid like degenerate 100x, 200x leverage, okay, you're trying to hit a home run. Great, it's free. It doesn't cost you a nickel. What you got to do is you got to use, let's click on the link together. I think a lot of people have missed this. 3 people, I think, have missed this. So I just click the link and it brings you to this page right here, okay? And at the bottom, it says this event is for Anthony Lee crypto users only. Number 3, pay attention to this. Users must click the register now button. It's in gold and bold. It's bold and gold, guys, so it's important. And at least 2 of the 3 have told me they didn't see the register now button. They probably clicked right here, $1,500 rewards, check details, you go in there. What you have to do, stop that, is, oh my gosh, we're going through this again. You have to do KYC and then deposit $100, okay? Has to be a new account. Now, if you already have a MEXC account, when you click this, before you click this link, log out of your MEXC account, and you will have to create one using a different email address. Create your new MEXC account, do KYC, deposit $100, and then it gives you a 24-hour wait that you have to keep that $100 in your account for 24 hours, and then it unlocks to $1,500, okay? But it says real clear, gold and bold and gold, you must click the register now button. That is what activates you to be qualified. If you click this button, it does not work. These are the things you have to do, okay? But to qualify, you must click register now. And so far, I've talked to at least 8 people. 5 of them got the money, and they all verified to me that they clicked register now. The 3 that did not get the money, 2 of them verified to me that they did not click register now. One of them didn't really say if he did or didn't, so probably didn't. But and I'm not knocking them. It is what it is. I mean, in my opinion, get you a new email address and go do it. But register now. Got to click that button. I don't make the rules. I negotiated the deal, got you guys a good deal. This is their rule. They said this, okay? The rewards are valid for 14 days. And let me tell you guys, at day 14, they will remove your $1,500. Whatever bonus money that they gave you, they will take it back. They will not take your profits, but that portion they gave you, whatever's left, they will take that back. And it tells you what you have to do. Create complete primary KYC, make a first-time deposit of $100, and hold it for 1 day. Hold it for 1 day to receive $1,500. So I just hit the chat with the link, and I've also pinned it in chat. So get you some free money, guys. Let's see. Hawkborn says, gave up on XRP. Super annoyed. I missed that huge run up. Yeah, I gave up on XRP. I took the biggest loss in my professional trading career on XRP. I had a big, like 365,000 XRP. And at the around the time they came out with the lawsuit, and it just started dumping, and I panic sold. I sold. I took a big loss. I made it back on other things, but I took the loss. I couldn't risk it going to zero. I don't know. I did. NOS, NOS, NOSana, great coin. Nosana is a good coin, guys. I'm not going to go through all this circulating supply stuff. I've already done that. There's a video. Go watch it. Or if you want to screenshot this, you can. I'll leave it here for 10 seconds. If you want to screenshot this, Nosana. This is a circulating supply, market cap info. I did all the hard work for you guys. This coin is going to turn. This is fetch from 5-6 years ago. If you think I'm wrong, hold my beer and watch this. That's what Nosana is going to tell you. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. This coin's fixing to rip. And the folks in Discord that didn't believe me when I gave this at 20, I'm on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. I don't remember where I gave it. 23 cents. I gave this and I said, guys, Fetch is fixing to rip. It was right here. I said, not Fetch, NOS is fixing to rip. And nobody believed me. Not one person bought this in Discord. And everybody missed out on that 67% pump. Everybody. This was just like a week and a half ago. Let's see. I haven't really looked at this much since then. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to the 5-day, 3-day. All right. 2-day. 2-day red dot active. Look over a 3-day red dot. This won't close until tomorrow, though. So by tomorrow, we will likely get a 3-day red dot. Possibly a 5-day red dot. Depending on how much, this is 3 days away, depending on how much the 3-day dot tomorrow, assuming we continue down, and we get the 3-day dot, depending on how much that moves us down, we may or may not get a 5-day dot in 3 days. Guys, got some good little rounding off here, though, on the 3-day. Money flow rounding off. The problem is you've never been in the green. This coin's too new, so you don't know if this is it or if you're just fixing to roll back down. You just don't know because you don't have any history to see how it typically reacts in a bear market. That is a problem with coins like this, and I don't mean this particular coin's fundamentals. I mean, it hasn't been around long. I mean, it's been around for 2 years, but that's not very long. It was released at the top of a bull market. It's not been. I like coins that have been through a bear market so I can see how they behave in a bear market. It's just hard to say. I could tell you this. If we come back to the lows, if Bitcoin dumps 30%, this will probably dump 50. Come back down near the lows, 14, 15 cents. If you get a crack at a 14, 15 cent Nosana, I might not buy any Fetch. I mean, if I get another shot at a 15 cent Nosana, gosh, dog. This coin's all-time high was 550, and all of the coins have been unlocked. There will be no more coins in circulation. So you cannot have dilution. There will be no more dilution. Now, there's a little dilution between all-time high and the rest of this. There's been a little dilution, but there won't be any more dilution. 100 million coins? That is low. That means this coin can rip on very little volume. It also means it can dump hard on very little volume. So very volatile, which I like. I mean, look, a couple times you did get good weekly candles, 250% pump, weekly green dot, 250% pump. There was no green dots here, but you got good weekly pump here, 280%. Got a weekly green dot here, right there, 130%. That's what I mean, guys. And you get a weekly green dot on this sucker, you better be buying. It ain't like other coins. You get a weekly dot and you get like 8%. This sucker minimum is 130% in a freaking bear market. Can you imagine you got a weekly green dot in a bull market? 700%. Gosh, if you get a chance at a 15, 14 cent Asana, if you could get a 13-cent fetch and a 15-cent Asana, I will buy and I will go dance in my front yard. Oh my gosh, I don't give a damn if they both go to 10 cents. I'm going to be fired up at what I'm going to make in 2 years. Especially if you can get in just maybe even one trade, somewhere along the way. You come down, let's say somewhere along the way you start the bull market. Somewhere you're going to get a 40, 50, 60% pullback. If you can, you're going to get a couple of them, right? You're going to get a couple of them. So if you could catch a couple of those, you come down, say you get a 50%er, another 50%er. I mean, if you can catch those and double your holdings from here, oh my gosh, and sell somewhere up in here. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go there. You know what I'm saying? You get the point. Wherever it goes, and you could double your holdings by just a couple of, even if you didn't do all this little intraday stuff, right? You didn't do that. You just waited for the big ones, and you just caught the bigger ones, and you didn't worry about all this little chop. Dude, this is where life-changing money comes in on coins just like this. Nobody's going to tell you this. Nobody even knows about this coin. I'm telling you. We're going to check back on this in the bull market. And when this sucker's up here at $7, I'll be like, I tried to tell y'all at 14 cents. And I'm going to be sitting back with my big old bag of 500,000 of them at $7. Actually, that's a lie. I will sell well before that. And you just got clear support and resistance lines right here, $1.12. You see it. Clear as day. You see the other side, boom, right here at 220. You see it, clear as day. I like that. It's got clear support and resistance where I can look to get out, or more than likely what's going to happen, guys, more than likely when this stuff does get up and moving, it makes good. This is where you're going to look for your 50% pullbacks, 30% pullbacks, whatever they are, because you're probably not fixing to break through this level on the first shot. This is where you're going to look to sell your spot bags, come down in here. I'd probably volume profile this somewhere here and look for the point of control, right in there, and then I'm going to look to rebuy. Kind of that point of control right there, rebuy. Then you're going to break through, right? Sell your spot back here. You're probably going to come back and retest this. Boom. So I'm sell, buy. First of all, I'm buy down here, sell, buy, and then you ride, and somewhere up in here, you take profit, and you're done. You're out. If Nasana goes to $1 billion market cap, that's a $10 Nasana. $1 billion is nothing. This is an AI coin, guys. This is a new AI coin that went to almost $6 in a freaking bear market. I'm just saying. Wendy, you're welcome. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I've been on here a while. We're looking for downside this week, but it really wouldn't surprise me to come up and gap fill and just kind of fake everybody out. And that would look like you coming up to back test. I really don't know that we get that back test, if I'm being honest. But we could back test the bottom of the battle zone. 79.4. Back test that, and we could. And that would fill the CME gap and then head down. That would not surprise me at all. We could just roll over right here. You had the nice stiletto pattern here. Stiletto, rolled over. Kind of getting a little, I don't know, ugly W here. I don't know. I don't really care. I feel like we're headed down. I'm short from here. And it doesn't really matter to me what happens here in the next 30, 36 hours. But I feel by the end of next week, we will be significantly lower. I will look for my next trade. I will not look to short. I don't care. I don't care. I'm in a short. My next trade I'm interested in is going to be down in this area right here, a possible long trade, and I'm going to run this sucker tight. Because you break back into this zone, this value area zone, I'll zoom out so you can see it. You break back into there and close a daily into there, I would expect rotation all the way down. Okay. 73K maybe, but everybody is eyeing 73K. It wouldn't surprise me, a knife right through it, especially when you get into all of those liquidity spikes right there. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys next time. The Lord loves you. I love you. That's it for us. We're out. I'll see you guys.